If you want to see the 10 palettes I regret buying, then stick around. Alright, let's get this out of the way. If you like the content in this video, please give it a thumbs up. And if you like the content on this channel in general, please consider subscribing. That would be wonderful. Hello, it's Hélène with another video. Thank you so much for joining me. I am talking palettes today, but I am not talking favorites. I often love to talk about favorites, but in this case, it is not going to be the pretty stuff. I am talking about palettes that I purchased in 2018. If it was 2017, it was right at the end of the year. And I was learning a lot. There are a lot of palettes that I learned and many palettes that I picked up, and they have helped me understand the brand, helped me understand the colors that I like, and so they served a purpose. But when I look at them in my collection, I think, you know, if I were to look at it now, I probably wouldn't get it. So there are 10 palettes total that I'd like to talk about, and I'm going to talk about them from most regret to least regret. And sometimes the regret does not mean that I want to declutter them. I'm just making sure that I don't say that. I'm just saying that if I were that I'm going to use them probably, it's just that if it were to do it all over again, I probably wouldn't buy it. To me, that's a regret, right? If you look at it and you go, I wouldn't buy that again, then you could say it's a regret. The first one is a palette that I'm going to keep around, even though there's no way I would use it on the day-to-day. I may eat those words, I don't know. And that is the Clio Cosmetics Glitter Palette. And I got this palette because it super intrigued me, and I will admit that I got it pretty much for Halloween. Get rid of the plastic that protects it, and here is the palette. The glitter is very, very chunky, and you can see right there, see that it's held in a clear medium. So each one of these glitters won't last very many uses, and it is, like I said, very, very chunky. So it's more like a New Year's Eve or a Halloween dress-up kind of a palette. Now, some people might wear it on the day-to-day. I'm not one of those folks. And I actually dug into the green because the green was not a color I wanted to use, and it gave me a chance to try the consistency. It's very jelly-like, so it won't last very long. It doesn't smell bad or anything. But let me just show you a little bit what it looks like. It's very chunky, very gritty, and I think you have to pack it on pretty good. Yeah, underneath it's really just clear jelly underneath. There's a little bit more, and you can see now I just dug into one other shade, and you can see that it's just jelly underneath. So, meh. Can it help do some neat Halloween costume ideas? Sure, and that's why I'm going to keep it. I'm a big fan of Halloween, and even if I only use a couple of these now and again, that's fine. I don't even consider it makeup in my general circulation. I just consider it Halloween makeup, so I put it very far at the back where I actually can't see it during the year because there's no way that I'm going to use it. So it's at the very, very back of my palette stack there. And by the way, if you're curious, everything there, that's all the palettes I have. There is for eye palettes, and then down here, down this side is my face palettes. You can see everything I've got. Some are layered up a little bit, but still, you can see the size of my collection. I'm just gonna wipe away that glitter. At least it's chunky. You can see if you've got any left. Next up are, I'm going to call it one palette, but it was a set of 3 that I got super discounted, and that was the Lorac Skinny palettes. There was a navy, there was a plum, and there was a nudes, and I have depotted them. I depotted them into a Makeup Forever palette, one of these guys, and here they are. So they're the ones that are all lined up, And you'll see that they're all very wearable shades for the most part. You can ignore the round ones down there. These are Annabelle shadows that I got for $1 a piece that are just fine by me. I don't mind any of them. Actually, this is one of my favorites right here. I digress. Okay, so let's go back. So here up at the top, this was the nudes. Over on this side was the plum set, and here was the navy set. And there's a lot of overlap in the neutrals from one to the other. And can I end up using the neutrals even just to set my eyeshadow? Yes. I would say that I would probably be able to par that down by 1/3 within a year. But again, it's just that I'm looking at using it from a utilitarian perspective, not from a creative perspective. There are just a few shades in here that I get excited about, and I would say this shade, and this shade pretty much. Maybe the gold, I'm not sure. Yeah, and if I'm looking for neutrals, I'm more likely to go to my Naked Basics 2 or another quad that I have. It gave me a chance to try the Lorac formula. I will say that I bought 4 palettes total, and the one that I really do like is the Mint Edition. And you can see it right here. You can see the top of it right there. So that, out of the 4, the Mint Edition is the one that I'm very happy about. If you want to see more of me using the Lorac shadows, I will put a link right here for you to see the brand new focus video I did on those shadows. And I've learned a lot since that video. So take my initial thoughts on using those palettes for a while with a grain of salt, because my tastes have evolved. Next up, I have 3 palettes from Makeup Forever. I am including these as individual palettes, but it's more how they're set up. So I'm actually considering, I haven't decided yet, but I'm considering depotting these. Even though I love the packaging, I don't like the way they're organized. And let me explain. This one is an all shimmers, probably my favorite one out of the 3. It is my favorite one out of the 3, but I always have to find a matte to go with these. I don't like to create a look with just shimmers. Well, there's different finishes from shimmer to metallics, but I mean, there's sparkle to them. And then this one is an all matte. And I like the variety of colors, but I also usually like to have some sort of a shimmer on the lid. So I can get away with just using this one, but I don't know. And the color stories are fine. Like, this is a good color story, that one and that one, no problem, right? But I find myself having to use these 2 in combination every time, and I would like for that palette to kind of be a standalone. So it's almost like I would be happier if each one had a mix of the 2 and that they were 2 separate palettes. And then this one is the Enigma for me. I bought it for these 3 shades, but these 3 shades are what keep me from picking the palette up. So if you look at the rest of the palette, very, very different feel, and I just did not like these 2 shades. So it's unfortunate, because I think I would get a lot more use out of the palette if the 2 blues that I don't really like weren't a distraction. And again, that's why I might want to depot. This, if anybody likes eggplant, this is a beautiful color right there. And it is ME930, if you're curious. I'll keep using the shadows, but again, it's I'm on the fence really whether I should depot them or not. It bugs me every time I look at them, but I think it would be a shame to get rid of the packaging because I like the packaging. Maybe, I don't know if there's a way for me to pop them out and rearrange them. I'll give it some thought. If anyone's done that, please let me know. Okay, so in my counting system, this is number 6. I don't mind this urban spectrum to a certain extent. The trouble I'm having is, I'm trying not to blind you guys. The trouble I'm having is that I bought this and now I know better. And what I mean by I know better is that I have armed myself with, you see that big box back there, a bunch of Urban Decay singles, and I just tend to be drawn to those faster. And again, This is not, to me, a standalone because they're all shimmers. It has to be coupled with another palette, either the Ultimate Naked Basics or the Naked Basics 2. And when I do want a pop of color, I don't tend to gravitate toward this specific set of shadows. And it's too bad because there are a lot of very pretty colors. And again, it's not that I'm not going to use this palette, it's that given what I have now, if I had what I have now, I would not likely be drawn to this one. And the packaging is a pain in the butt because I like to stand my palettes like this and the top just keeps opening up. I don't like that very much. One thing though that I noticed is, and if you've seen this palette before, you'll know that there's a hole here. You can pop this off and it becomes a jewelry box. And what I did notice is that eventually when I do not want these shadows anymore, I can put 3x3 singles out of their container, not essentially 9 Urban Decay singles if I want to have my own little kind of palette in this packaging. But again, I don't know if I would want to keep it that way. It's really a display piece, but I don't want to use up the space I have here to put this as a display piece. I used to have it, but I'm much happier having my perfumes set up in the middle. We have 4 to go. I ended up getting a set of the 3 tartlets. I bought the Vault, and this is the one that I was least interested in, but I was interested in for one reason, and that is that I figured I would compare it to the Urban Decay Naked Heat. And what I found out is, even though I like the Tarte formula, I like the Naked Heat better. And so I tend to be drawn to the Naked Heat before this one. So it doesn't get used as much as it could. And I end up, because I end up using the Naked Heat far more, it doesn't get the kind of use that it deserves. Even though it has very nice mattes, some kind of a rusty color, terracotta color, very pretty mattes, and the one that people don't seem to like, Crackle, I like this one quite a bit. So I just don't reach for the palette, therefore I don't use Crackle. This next one is an Enigma. It is the Just Peachy palette from Too Faced, and I did a Too Faced, actually I will link the Tartlet brand new focus, essentially the Tarte brand new focus that I did right here, and also the Too Faced brand new focus that I did, because I did include this one in it, and I really quite like it, so I'll put it right here. I have no idea why I don't use this more, and I think it might be because, kind of like the All Mattes from the Makeup Forever palette, this is an all mattes palette. There's a little hint of shimmer, but it's more for blending in this one. I really like it. I love the packaging, and actually I have to say I love the packaging for the Tarte as well. These are palettes that are made for storage. Storage and easy access. They're easy to grab and pull out. And the thing is, with this Just Peachy, I know that if I had it set up as part of a daily makeup drawer, that I would definitely use it. If I am able to use my very boring Pen That palette on the daily, I can definitely use the Just Peachy on the daily and would probably enjoy it more than this one. I chose the Smashbox Matte Exposure for my Pen That palette because it's older in my collection, but yeah, the Just Peachy I think I would enjoy quite a bit, because regardless of whether I use the more colorful shades in the palette, most of the palette is very neutral, and so it makes for very easy use regardless of whether or not I'm someone who loves color. Now we're getting into lower level regrets, but I know this is going to be a shocker. I will, but I have not touched this one yet. I will, though. And I know that part of the reason I purchased it, and you see that it's in the box? It's in the box because I hate round packaging. I despise it. I don't find that they store well unless you have a storage system that is specific for round items. So I keep it in the box, otherwise it just irks me when I look at my collection. It's the only round thing that I have. I really thought that the palette was bigger than that, and it's really a lot smaller than I thought. And I thought that these guys were regular pan sizes. They are not. They are smaller. And these, smaller still. They're very tiny. This one is only slightly bigger than a regular shadow. My thought, because of my dislike of the packaging, was that I was going to depot these and put them into Anastasia quads. I can't. These things are, these little shadows, never mind these, but these little shadows are too small. And so I'm going to keep them in the palette unless I depot them to a regular magnetic palette, but that just wasn't my idea. And I did do a comparison with the shades here with all of the Urban Decay that I have, and there really aren't any duplicates. They are all different enough. I'll give you an example. Fortune Teller, I really thought was a dupe for Lounge. And it is not. Lounge has the green base with the rust, and this has the rust with the green glitter. They're just opposite of each other, and so they give a different look. So I really don't have anything that is already available, though this one is very close to ABC Gum, but not quite. So I will use it, and one of the reasons why it has redeemable value is that I won't pay for the Born to Run, which is a palette that I'm very interested in, but I won't pay $59 Canadian for it. It will have to be half off before I jump on it, and I'm not going to jump on it in 2019 because it is my no-buy year. And this one I managed to nab during Christmas, and I waited weeks and weeks and weeks, and it came on half off, and still it was half off for a while, and I thought, can I get over this round packaging? Well, for me, keeping it in the box is going to be part of the solution. But yeah, I kind of wonder about this palette, but it could definitely surprise me, and so that's why it's kind of higher up in my least regretted of my regretted palettes. And we have one more. When it comes to Too Faced, so I've had the Just Peachy, but I really enjoyed the Sweet Peach palette and used that one and really enjoyed it quite a bit. But there's another palette that I didn't enjoy quite as much that has a bit more variety than just neutrals, and that is the Chocolate Bar. And the reason I got the Chocolate Bar, same reason as I got at least one of the Anastasia palettes, was because of the cult following that the Chocolate Bar has. And I did a brand new focus on this Chocolate Bar palette. I will link that one up above as well. It was okay. Like, it was okay, easy to use. I would agree with that. I have one shade called Gilded Ganache that I am a very big fan of. I did a smoky eye that just blew me away because it was so easy to do and it was so flattering on my eye. But apart from that, it has mostly just easy shadows. Like, this quad is very easy to use on the day-to-day. You don't have to think. You can just grab this palette and just go. If you're not a fan of color, I mean, I just found that I was getting bored with this palette. And you could say that I'm not creative enough. That's possible. It was just not a palette that I was super drawn to. Am I going to continue using it? Yes. It's my least regretted of the 10 that I pulled for a regrets video. But with what I know now, I think I would have just passed on it. Are they good shadows? Yep. Are they perfectly fine to use? Yep. But I wouldn't repurchase. So there you have it, 10 palettes. I think I should call it 12 because the 3 Loracs, Lorac, I don't know how to say it, I combined as one. Oh, and by the way, the Lorac palettes, those 3 skinnies, I did depot them. If you want to see depotting from cardboard packaging, I will put a link there if I have any links left. If not, they will be down in the description box. And in the description box, for sure, I will leave you a link to Georgia Harris's video, because part of why I depotted those was to give her 3 mirrors from those cardboard palettes. And she used all the mirrors she got for this amazing mirror project, and I would love for you to go check it out. So that will definitely be in the description box. That's it for my palette regrets. I hope you enjoyed the talk through. I look forward to seeing you in the next video. But for now, take care.